Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick batch of tomato sauce. This is the easiest way to do it. I'm just gonna give my tomatoes a little wash here. I have preheat my oven to 410, and I'm gonna cut out the middle of all these tomatoes. Give my hands a wash. Cut out the middle, and then we're just gonna, I'm not even going to halve them. I just put them in the pan whole. But this one has like a lot, like some of them have some splitting here. So I just take them and I cut the bad spots out of them, and there's not really bad spots. We've been having a lot of rain, so there's been some extra cracking. But we're just gonna take the top out, and then I am going to place them in my pan. Doesn't matter how you do it. And I stack them up pretty high. So once I do all these tomatoes, I'll show you what that looks like. And then we'll put them in the oven for about 45 minutes. And then we'll can up our sauce. And I do it without a canner. This is the only thing I can like without a water bath or a pressure canner tomato sauce. This is how the old Italian grandmas do it. And it's worked out really well. It stores really well. The can seals, and they store for many years. I've eaten tomato sauce that's a year or 2 years old from this way, and I actually like it the best this way versus canning it, because you're not cooking it extra in the canning process. So I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, so I have all my tomatoes here. Some of them are not ripe yet. I just cut the green spot out of them, but that's okay. I'm going away for a few days, so I had to process them. Not on the real ripe side, but there are a lot of good ripe tomatoes in here. So I'm not going to salt these or put any seasoning in them, because I'm going to salt them in when I put them in the jars and put a little basil on them. But we're going to let these suckers cook down, and so all we have left is the good pulp, and most of the juice will get out of them. This way also, when doing it, you get a much better, like, deeper tomato flavor. So I'll see you back whenever these are done. So it's the next day. I actually processed that other batch of tomatoes, but starting off with the same process, I put these in the oven and roasted them for about 30 to 40 minutes at 420 degrees. You can see all the juice here, and what I'm gonna do is, you can opt to take the skins off. I don't run them through like a tomato strainer or anything. This is just the quickest way for me to process tomatoes in my busy life. They're still hot, so I'm just going to put them in this strainer here, because there's a lot of juice that's still gonna come out of these, and I'm gonna let them sit for about 10 minutes to still release all that juice, because I want a really thick tomato sauce. This recipe, we're not adding any extra seasonings like already prepared marinara or spaghetti sauce. I'm just strictly doing this as tomato sauce because I like it to be versatile. Like I can do, oh, there's a big piece of a tomato skin. I can do like tomato soup with this. I could make it into sauce. I could make it into salsa through the winter. I just made a batch of salsa. So I just like having regular, just tomato sauce that I can do anything with. I have canned regular sauce tomatoes, like tomato sauce with all the peppers and the ingredients in it, and I actually didn't like it. I prefer just the straight tomato sauce that can be versatile and use this with anything. And so this is just how I process tomatoes now. I'm not saying that you have to do it this way, but this is how I do it, and this is the quickest way. So let's let this strain out in this strainer here, and there's already a lot of juice in there. Let this strain out with the extra juice. I'll remove some of the skins on it. I'm not going to remove all the skins, but I'll come back in about 10 minutes and we'll go ahead and process these tomatoes up. Okay, so I took most of the skins off and let it strain out. There's some of the skins here. and I'm actually going to keep them and freeze dry them and make tomato powder out of them. But you can still see that there's some juice in here, but pretty much all the juice is gone. The seeds are still in, most of the skins are off. So we're going to heat this up to boiling, and we're going to use the immersion blender to blend this all up. We can actually do that now. And then we'll be just about done processing our tomatoes. I love this immersion blender. I use it on everything. Okay, so I have my blended up sauce here, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in our jar. Let's use one of these, and I'm just gonna use about maybe a teaspoon or more of salt, and I'm gonna put it in the bottom of my jar here. How the old Italians did it was they put the salt and then they put the basil in it. So we're just gonna ladle this out. I heated it up, boiling now. So let's go ahead and put it in our jar. Also, if you're doing a big batch of this, you're gonna need some sort of blanket, or if you have if it's really cold in your house and you're doing this and you're not canning them, you need a comforter to put on a lot of jars. But I'm just doing this one for right now for demonstration purposes. Headspace, you don't really need to worry about headspace in this because we're not canning anything. But I do put about 1 inch of headspace. So we have our jar now. Actually, that's probably a little too full. So, okay. I'm gonna stick this for any air bubbles. But we're good now. And I have a canning lid that is brand new, hasn't been used. We're gonna put that on. Wipe it off so it seals properly. You can do this a little more than finger tight here. A little more than finger tight. And the last step in this process, and I'm just gonna set it over here. You need to let it cool for 24 hours just like you would do with a regular canning. But the trick of this is we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna set it right there. So that jar is going to seal within 24 hours and it's going to be shelf stable. I didn't add any lemon juice or anything extra. You don't need more acidity in it. So when I did this a couple years ago, the jars lasted 2 years, and this was actually the best tasting tomato sauce after I canned it because you're not cooking it that much. You're not like cooking it down for hours and hours. When you roast the tomatoes, you get a better flavor on them. And I only just heated the jar for it to be hot in here so it would create a seal. So tomorrow when I go and open it up, or I'm not going to open it up, I'm going to check the seal on it and take the ring off. You're going to see if you push down on the top of it, it's not going to pop back up. It's actually going to seal. So this is shelf stable up to many years, probably at least 5 years. You don't need a canner, you don't need a water bath, pressure canner, anything to do this recipe. I wouldn't put any other ingredients in it, just the tomato sauce, but this is how I do it. This is how it's worked for me. So give this recipe a try, and I hope you love this canned tomato sauce without a canner.